Polypropylene welding with a bauxite D welder. Welcome.
Witajcie,
Today
dzisiaj
you're going to
pokażemy
see
spawanie
industrial
przemysłowe
welding,
tworzywa
PP
PP,
welding.
czyli
PP stands for
polipropylen. Na
polypropylene.
przykładzie
The 10
takich
to
grubych
11
płyt,
millimeters
czyli tu
board
jest około
is the
10-12
exemplary
mm.
project for the presentation.
Przysmawamy je
You will see how it is
parfinowo,
welded by
a
fillet
w kolejnym
weld,
filmiku
and in the next
zobaczycie
part you're going
spawanie
to see
docelowe.
done it by weld technique.
W tym
In the
filmie
film,
będziemy
I'm going
używać
to use
spawarki
hand
ręcznej
bauxite D
typu
welder.
bauxite D.
I will
Oczywiście
use
przyda
a
nam się
tapered
dusza
nozzle, and you will
zwalczająca
see both
oraz
pre-welding
także
nozzle
na
and
tym
a
i na
speed
kolejnym
welding
filmie
nozzle
dyszę z
in
tętego
this
spawania
film and in
oraz
the
dyszę
next one.
szybkiego spawania.
To prepare the
Do
surface,
przygotowania
you will
powierzchni
use the hand
posłużą
scraper 65
skrobaki ręczne,
mm one,
taki 65
triangular
mm,
one, and the
dodatkowy,
other type of a smaller one.
tutaj drugi rodzaj troszkę mniejszego.
And depending
Oraz
on the availability, you will need a grinder or angle grinder or other types of equipment. You will learn later why.
Później wytłumaczymy do czego.
To weld such thick walls, you need a powerful hand welder like bauxite D or bauxite pit that you will see in the next footage, triangular binder 5.5 or even 7 millimeters in dimension. The color fits the material here, but as you see, the color doesn't really matter, and you can use gray, black, or any other one. The binders that I am not going to use, but they are available too, are 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters, and even 5 millimeters, and also card binders in various shapes like triangle, trapeze, or flat ones. Yet they are too thin to weld such in a thick material. To do that, you will need a tapered nozzle that feeds the welder on which you are going to put on other nozzles. The pre-welding nozzle is to stick the element so it doesn't move. It is very useful when you want to weld supports, handles, and any other supporting handles. So you will not need other person help or tensioning belt. You will also need a speed welding nozzle, and it's triangular to help the binder get in its place. I mentioned before, round nozzle will not be used in this film, as it won't be of any use in this presentation. All of the materials oxidize like aluminium, but a bit slower. The point is to take the first layer, and the best way to do that is to use a grinder or scraper or any other tool. The point is to help the binder stick to the material as best as it is possible and to support the welding process. Now we're going to see the surface is prepared. I have grinded it with a small buffing disc. In bigger parts, you may want to use an angle grinder with 115 or 125 buffing disc. Remember to use protective wear like an apron, gloves or glasses or mask. This way prepared surface enables you to support the welding and to fit the element that you wish to stick onto. You may also wish to prepare the support with a bigger or smaller hand scraper. You may also use the grinder. Use anything that will improve your welding process and remove the oxides from the surface. It concerns every welded surface. To weld larger or smaller parts, remember to use pre-welding nozzle to hold an element in place, especially if you don't want to use handles or don't have anybody around to help you. Now I will put on the pre-welding nozzle and the speed welding nozzle. Set the temperature. In this model it will be around 4 to 4.5, which is circa 300 centigrades. Before you start, remember that the pre-welding nozzle is being left to heaten up for about 2 to 3 minutes to make it hot enough. The nozzle has been heated up. With this you pre-attach the element onto the surface. To do that, push it gently towards the surface. You touch the surface with the nozzle and melt the surface that is going to be welded. When you have sticked the element to the surface, you may want to do that on the other side for convenience of future welding. Remember to keep the welder at 45 degrees towards the surface. Not like nor like that, so it melts the base and the elements at the similar degree. Remember to hold the element at all time that you wish to attach to the surface in the pre-welding stage. If the edge of a nozzle gets dirty, all you need to do is to take a metal brush or a screwdriver to remove the debris from time to time. Make sure that after you have finished, the nozzle is cleaned. The element has been matched to the surface. Remember to leave it for 3 or 4 minutes to cool it down a bit, and make sure that it holds strong enough to conduct the welding. To continue the welding, you need a speed welding nozzle, so you could perform an oscillated welding that will be shown next. The pre-welding nozzle is uninstalled, and now the speed welding nozzle is installed. Make sure to leave the welder for a minute or so to heaten up. In the meantime, I shall cut the binder for welding. In this example, remember to use whole piece of binder. So you need to make sure what length do you need. Always leave 5 to 10 centimeters of extra binder just in case. As I said before, the triangular speed welding nozzle is installed. The binder is 5 mm, but you could also use 6 mm, one here as well. Remember to hold the welder at the angle of 45 degrees towards the welded material, so it hittens both parts that you wish to join.
I powierzchnię dolną i element, który chcemy dospawać.
It is good to let a few centimeters of the binder beforehand.
Wcześniej
At the beginning, you push it slightly towards the surface. If the binder is to plastic, remember to speed up or to lessen the temperature on the device. In this case, around 4. That is a bit lower than 300 centigrade.
temperaturę do około 300 stopni.
Now I'm going to show you an oscillated welding.
Wahadłowe
The speed welding nozzle is to be removed.
szybkiego spawania.
Put it in the safe place, it is very hot.
Całość jest nagrzana.
Now you push the binder towards the surface and hitten both at the same time.
Dociskać spoiwo.
Before you start, test the binder to see if it melts, but to do it only when you have no counter display.
Spoiwo się lekko nadstawia.
Remember to place the welder in the position of 45 degrees and the both of the surface are in the position of 90 degrees. If you wish to rest your arm for a moment, put it away and push the binder towards the surface at all time. Remember that. After 5 seconds, you do the same
Podnosimy rękę
and repeat that until you finish.
do spawania.
Make sure not to leave the finishing like this.
Nie zostawić w ten sposób.
Bend it and overlap it on part from you started.
Przespawać aż przez ten kawałek, przez który zaczynaliśmy.
If you have someone to help you, or you finish the welding, remember to use a knife to cut the redundant piece.
Którym tutaj obetniemy zbędny kawałek.
It will enable you to make it easier now.
Przejście zrobić.
Make sure that whatever you stop, always put the device away from the surfaces and wait a few seconds.
Odłożyć na chwilę temperaturę na bok, poczekać 3 do 5 sekund.
Otherwise, you may destroy the binder.
Nie było takiego nagłego oderwania.
When you finish, after it cools down, cut the binder. Later, you may buff the surface of painted if needs be. In this case, the color of the binder fits the surface. In most cases, you don't need to paint it. All you need to do is to buff the surface a bit. You may use a scraper or a disc. The redundancy has been removed with a grinder. You may use a lesser grain disc to smooth or polish the surface. Make sure that before you turn off the device, the temperature should be set to minimum, and when it cools down, you may turn it off. Properly welded piece should withstand a hand test, like that. It won't break here. Or you can use it as a stand for a tank to withstand the weight of the water. It shouldn't break easily. If, however, it should occur, make sure you choose the best binder corresponding to the material. Also, you may want to weld the pieces 2 or 3 times, or even use 5 or 6 mm binder for that purpose. To sum up, make sure you're wearing protective clothing like glasses, apron and gloves. During welding, remember to prepare the surfaces by removing the oxides and by scraper, grinder or angle grinder, depending what is available. The point is that I haven't mentioned yet is to make sure to clean the element that is a bit dirty. Be it a tank taken out of the ground, or was it left outside for some time rotten. Apart from cleaning the surface with a scrape or grinder, it is advisable to degrease the surface with an alcohol or acetone-based degreaser. The point is that no dirt, debris or oil or other substance get in the wheel while welding. What we did today was to present the equipment bow-side day with pre-welding nozzle, so-called binding one. It is advisable to use before welding, so not to use any handles or tension belts.
połączeniu takich mniejszych czy nawet większych elementów.
The speed welding nozzle was presented. In this case, it is for binders up to 7 millimeters.
Jest to do wymiaru 7 mm.
I have also used scrapers, a triangular one, regular one, and a large one, and a grinder with small disc. For small jobs, all you need is a grinder with 125 or 150 disc installed. Make sure to adjust the rotation of the disc. The advisable speed is 8 to 10,000 RPM when it comes to plastic. The grinder or other equipment have to have the rotation adjustment. The welding was conducted upon the 10 to 12 millimeters thick PP boards, and I use bowside D for that. In the next one, you're going to see high density polyethylene reaction PEHD to high temperature. See you soon, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.